Chapter 4: Windows OS and Control Panel. Inside the box or inside the tower. This is a quick overview of the insides of a computer tower. So we're going to start with point 1, which is the PCI Express x 16x expansion slot. This is the fastest slot and it usually takes video cards. Lately, solid state hard drives have emerged that connect to this slot. Number 2 are these slots, and they're the RAM or memory RAM slots. Number 3 is the hard drive and is the central storage for your system. Number 4 is the CPU, and underneath this big heatsink and fan is the CPU of the unit, which is the central processing unit. Number 5 is the power supply, which connects right here to the motherboard. Number 6, these are the old PCI slots. And number 7, this is the PCI slot 4X. And number 8, these are the SATA connections which connect to your hard drive. As if you can trace, this red cable is right there. SATA and hard drive connections. Number 1 is the actual power connection for the SATA hard drive, and this is the data connection for the SATA hard drive. As you can see here, this is not a good perspective picture of it, and that's why we have this addition. Number 1 and number 2 connect on the hard drive to number 1 here, which is the power connection, and this is number 2, the data connection. As you can see, you cannot insert them wrong because they have this little notch here and here. Before we can start, we have to define the main parts of the computer. We will start with the base models. We have laptop computers, desktop, and notebooks. Each computer has several main components that are often referred to. The hard disk is the storage, usually marked and identified by a cylinder pictogram like here. When this is flashing, it means that the computer is reading and writing the hard disk. When the icon is idle or not lit, that means the computer is not requesting information from the hard disk. Therefore, this would be the best time to make requests, which means start applications, close applications, since there are no other requests being processed. For example, many users, after they are presented with the desktop, usually this happens when you log in, you'll get presented with the desktop, they quickly click on icons to launch their favorite programs or applications. It is advisable for everyone to look at the hard drive LED to see if it's lit, solidly lit, or flashing, or mostly not flashing. If it's solidly lit, that means that the computer is still loading up startup applications. And these startup applications we talked about, they usually install services. And after you have logged in, all those services need to start up on top of already other services that Windows needs to function. So Adobe Reader, Real Player, all these applications like iTunes, they add these little services that eventually they're gonna cram and extend your startup sequence. Let's move to the RAM memory. RAM memory, like the hard disk, stores information, only that RAM is much faster. RAM memory is lost when the computer is shut down, which means RAM is volatile. However, the hard disk is the storage for RAM and retains information even if the PC is shut down. Therefore, we should have as much RAM memory as possible, which speeds up the computer and its responsiveness mostly. More RAM means more flexibility and responsiveness. The CPU is the central processing unit or the processor. This chip does all the calculations necessary for you to watch video, browse the internet, and type a paper, sometimes all at the same time. The more expensive the CPU, the faster it performs. Familiarize yourself with the operating system. The operating system, or OS, is a collection of software that runs, maintains, and acts like an interface between the users, which means you, and the hardware, the actual components of the computer, physical components. The Windows operating system is the market standard. Common folders of user interest are My Documents or Documents, My Music, My Videos, and so on. All these are found in the user profile. Most applications a user uses save their data in the Documents folder or in one of the other folders if there are music or video files, as well as pictures. Read Chapter 1 for a quick reference on backing up data. Most of the data resides in your user profile. important folders, locations of the operating system. The C drive, the Windows folder, the C drive program files, the C drive program files 86. This folder is a newer folder and it has been introduced because of the transition from the 32-bit operating system to the 64-bit operating system. Therefore, old applications or older applications that are made for 32-bit operating systems can be installed on 64-bit operating systems, but they have their own program files, x86, documents and settings. In Windows XP, this folder contains the user profiles. So C:\\documents and settings in Windows XP contains the user profiles. In Windows 7, it is hidden and it is a virtual folder for the legacy applications that were designed for Windows XP. C users is the folder where all the profiles reside under Windows 7.